Okay, so like I was saying, I will comment when we get to another benefit of playing those branch patterns, but it'll be at the expense of the um, musicality of the branch pattern I'm playing, because it's a lesson, it's not a performance. Well, so it's a trade-off. So we choose a modal scale that can be any mode of an entire scale, has the same offset. Choose a modal scale can be any mode, and the entire scale has the same offset. Okay, that the second time I read that, that's the one you want to pay attention to. The first time I kind of messed it up. So, all right. The modal scale we're going to choose is, say, the Aeolian. The entire scale has the same offset. Okay, let's choose a different. Let's choose a different mode now. We did Aeolian in the previous part, so let's choose Phrygian. All right. What is the modal offset for Phrygian? Let's look at the diagram. Here we are. Here's our Phrygian scale, starts on 3. Here's our root, starts on 1, the key of C. Piano, these are normally all ivories. In this case, somebody painted the elephant's tusks. How nice. That would be nice for a circus, you know. For a circus. I remember my dad when I was a kid. It was dark, and me and Blair, my friend Blair, were playing outside in the dark, and we were supposed to be setting up a circus. And he yelled out from the garage, "Andy, come in. No circus." Anyway, so remember, these are the white keys. No, I mean, he shut me down. He definitely shut me down there. Because I realized I wasn't making a circus. I was just out playing with my friend by the tree well. Okay, so I'm not sure what we were up to out there. Probably no good. Rest his soul. You know, he left us 10 years ago. 10 years ago. You know, he was about my age. So I'm thankful to be alive. I lived through my childhood with Blair. I have fond memories of him rolling me down a hill in a barrel. And then when the barrel stopped, I was on top. And then it just dropped straight down 2 feet. That I found was the part that hurt. The other part just made me dizzy. Alright, anyway, enough of the war stories. So, here on the keyboards, we have the piano here. The offset for Phrygian, remember we've got Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and Ionian again. For Phrygian on the third there, we've got an offset of 2 because C plus 2 equals 3. That means anything in the Phrygian scale, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, has an offset of 2 when we play the pattern. And that's what's going to happen there. So here we go. We have the C3 string shape with the Phrygian right there, 3 minor, okay? 3 minor. Let's set me back over here where I'm in the video box there. Offset of 3. Now we talked about if we're playing in Mixolydian, we have an offset of -3. Now don't let that throw you. It's all got to add up to 7. Okay, so -3 plus 4 is 7. So if we're on root here, and we go root 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, root plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. But instead of going up 4, we're going to start here and go down 3. So to get to the Mixolydian pattern, we're just -3, not plus 4. That's just my preference. But remember, 4 4 plus 3 is 7. It has to always add up to 7. So over here, Dorian is plus 1, but it's also minus 6, right? Because you're on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to Dorian. Okay? I just brought it back up to C, but it really, the Dorian scale is there. So that's the little circle, the 7-note modal scale offsets for a new root pattern. So what it means is these numbers, see, this is why I want to spend more time on this rather than the previous chart, which focuses on how to play chords also in Locrian. Okay, Locrian can be not fun because you play a whole bunch of, you know, practicing half diminished chords isn't very musical after a while. But this is a little more interesting. So we have here, we have the scale member, the modal member, and over here we have the offsets. Okay, so let's do something in Phrygian here, which is a weird kind of scale. You know, most people would pretty much default to the Aeolian. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From the 5th, Aeolian's minus 2, right? Am I correct? Minus 2 Aeolian there. So from the 5th, 5 minus 2 is 3. We'd play a Phrygian from there. So it'll go. Okay? Now we're in Phrygian. The offset is 2 because root plus 2 equals 3, and the Phrygian is the modal scale that starts on the 3rd scale member. Remember, these numbers count as scale members, not chromatically. Okay? So it, depending on, you know, every major scale has so many whole steps, so many half steps. No matter where you start on the modal scale, it's going to have so many half steps, so many whole steps, because you're following the major scale. So let's see what we're doing in Phrygian here. So Phrygian has to be relative to a key, a parent key of Ionian, right? There's the Phrygian 3rd. Reminds you of Against the Wind, right? Or something like that. Okay, so we're in the Phrygian 3rd here. So, of course, we could do some things. Okay, you know, Against the Wind. Okay, I'm just gonna borrow this from Against the Wind. You know, I used to play at the old age home, so I'd get these things. They came from, I guess, ultimateguitar.com, and I renamed the file Ultimate Oaks because I used to play them at the Oaks of Brevard for the old folks on the piano. So let's do that. So it was, you know, something like, seems like yesterday, it was long ago. Okay, so there's your Phrygian 3rd. Alright, so in Phrygian, I just thought I'd show you that a little quick, you know, because that song reminded me so much, like as if it was sung by the guy who was raised my children for about 10 years, my ex-wife's boyfriend, who was a very faithful person. And so he gave me strength in that song, you know, where it'd be like, seems like yesterday, but it was so long ago, you know, and it goes to the 4th. Okay, so in C it would be, seemed like yesterday, but it was so long ago. So right there we've got the Phrygian 3rd. There's no doubt about it. You're starting on root, we've got the Phrygian 3rd, and we're going to go to the 4th. Okay, okay? I stretched that too far. So what